Howdy, old Bubba here again. Hope all y'all had a good Christmas and looking forward to a new year, Lord willing. I want to talk to all the conservatives across the state about something very important. Before I get to talking about it, though, I want to ask you some questions. Are you tired of people running for Congress making promises that they're going to do all of this and that, and when they're elected, they take an oath to uphold and preserve the Constitution? And yet it seems like almost as soon as they get their hand off the Bible, they start doing stuff that's not in the Constitution. You remember back in 2010 when the Republicans, old John Boehner was the leader then, and, you elect us to the Congress, you elect us to the House, and give us the majority. Every piece of legislation that's offered will have to be accompanied by the clause or statement in the Constitution that gives the federal government the power to get involved in that. Well, they tried that maybe for a few weeks, and then they just decided, we'll go back to doing like we always do, and we'll do exactly what we want to do and phooey on the Constitution. Are you tired of that? And then there's the executive, the president and his people. Are you tired of them trashing the Constitution that they have sworn to uphold and defend? You remember President Obama when he was president, and pretty early on he was meeting with some people who were here illegally, and they wanted him to grant them amnesty. And he said, I'm sympathetic and I'd like to, but he says, I just can't do that. I can't wave a magic wand and make it happen. He said, in America we've got a Constitution, and the Constitution just won't allow the president to do that. Well, before the end of his second term, that's exactly what he tried to do, to put on the country. Had the Constitution changed? No. Wasn't no laws changed? No. He just decided, phooey on the Constitution. I'm the president. I'll do whatever I want to do. You tired of that? And then there's the Supreme Court, supposed to be these paragons of judicial virtue. And they're going to uphold and defend the Constitution. Folks, it's sad to say, but they're some of the worst offenders. The Constitution does not give the Supreme Court the right to make even one single law, but they do it very frequently. The most famous case probably is the one on homosexual marriage. You remember back in the 1990s, the Congress passed a law about the definition of marriage, and they said it's the union of one man and one woman. And it was signed into law by President Bill Clinton. Well, a case came before the Supreme Court about this, and the court said, no, you can't do that. That's unconstitutional. That's discriminatory against some people. And so they said, we're going to strike that down. And they had the authority to do that, even though it had been wrong. But they didn't have any authority to make another law. But they did. Led by Justice Kennedy, they said, not only are we striking this down, but here's the new rules. Any man can marry any man, any woman. I mean, it's just whatever you want. And, of course, we don't want people. In fact, he said basically that the only people that wouldn't support this are people that are bigoted. Well, he way overstepped the bounds of the Constitution. He was disloyal to his oath, and in my opinion, he ought to have been impeached, and the others who'd said the same. Well, are you tired of that? Maybe you're thinking, why don't somebody do something about this? That's a good question, ain't it? But let me tell you to think about this. You are somebody. And you are one of the somebodies that can start to do something about it. I'm going to tell you briefly about this, and then I'll be done for today. On January the 17th in Columbia, there's going to be a rally talking about an Article 5 convention of the states to try to rein in this out-of-control federal government, to give the power that belongs to the states to the states. Now, it's going to start about 8:15, run till about 3:15 or so in the afternoon, and mainly what we will need all of y'all to do is to be there. We need a lot of people there. And that'll be doing something, but also you're going to be having an opportunity to talk to your representatives wherever you live in the state. And you want to encourage them to pass a law, pass a resolution to call for a convention of the states to propose amendments to the Constitution that will help to rein in the out-of-control government. Folks, you are the somebody. Circle your calendar right now. Make your commitment. Don't say, well, I'll think about it. Most people who think about things never do nothing. We want you to be there. So plan on being there on the 17th. I'll have more the next 2 weeks to talk about this and explain to you why it's so important and how to work. So, Bubba, thanking you for your time, and God bless you.